Hey there guys, it's Christou here from Toonboxstudio.com and welcome to this tutorial which is all about the silhouette technique that I regularly use when I start sketching out some of my characters and stuff. So before we get started, I want to make sure you guys have the right tools. So no matter what software you're using, you need 3 tools that every single software has. The first one is a sketching tool. Now I'm using Sketchbook Pro, so I'm going to be using the default pencil, but you can also use any type of sketching tool on any software. Now you're going to need a soft round brush, so in Sketchbook Pro just right click on the tool, on the brush, and bring down the paint opacity. I just right clicked on it and opened this properties panel and bring it down to about 20%. Do the same thing on any type of software you're using. Now I have a nice soft round brush so I can start creating my silhouettes. The more I press down, the more paint comes out, so which is perfect for what I need. You're going to need one more tool, and that is a soft eraser, which we use to modify and erase and shape our characters or objects no matter what we're trying to create. So without further ado, let's get started. Right, so before we start, one thing you do need to have in mind is you need to know exactly what you are trying to create. So if you're going to go in blindly and trying to form something, make sure you have some kind of references next to you or something. At least you're observing some kind of shapes, so you'll be able to make these silhouettes. If you have a personal character that you've created, like I do, like my cherry pinup character, like me for example, I've drawn her so many times that I know exactly all the little shapes that form her body and head and everything, all the little elements. So it makes life easier for me when I go in to create this silhouette. So I'm going to quickly demonstrate now on how the whole process is by creating 2 basic shapes. So I'm going to make these 2 little blobs of paint here, and I'm going to form a square and a triangle. I'll take my soft eraser, I'm going to soften them out just a little bit, just like that, and make it nice and small now, so I can start erasing the squares, the side shapes of the squares, you know, the sides. And if you want to add more paint, no problem, just select your paintbrush again, throw some paint on there if you feel like you've gone off a bit, you know, and then just soften it out again and then go in one more time to define the shape. Now the reason I'm showing you the square and the triangle is because these 2 shapes are shapes that everyone knows, real easy shapes. So for you to understand how this works, since we already know what the shape looks like, it's a piece of cake to form a silhouette out of it. So whatever you're trying to create, make sure you know what it looks like. Have a reference, or if it's something you've drawn like a million times, you know what it is. And then just take the sketching tool and just sketch over it, and it's a piece of cake. That is the process, okay? So now I'm gonna try and do the same thing for you guys with a character's head. And I'm gonna use the minions from Despicable Me as an example. I'm gonna draw a minion's head. So I'm gonna take my soft round brush and throw in some paint on there. So the more paint, the merrier. And then after you've done that, take the soft eraser, soften everything out just a little bit, and then make it nice and small so we can define the sides as well to form the shape and the forms of this character. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paintbrush and I'm going to add some detail, just some basic details of the eyes, the goggles that the minions were wearing. Take my soft eraser and erase the inner part of the goggles so I have an eyeball and stuff in there. And then with my paintbrush again, I'm going to add the little straps of the goggles and 2 eyeballs. There we go. Now with the soft eraser now I can add a little bit more detail, just a simple basic little smile with some goofy teeth hanging out or something like that, and then just define a little bit more around the head, and I might even add some, I don't know, maybe some outfit or something. So I'll take the sketching tool and then I'm going to zoom in and I'm just going to add just sketch on top now basically, and that's it. That's basically it. Now that I have the whole shape in front of me, it's a piece of cake. It's like connecting the dots together. Okay, so that's why it's so important that the silhouette is correct. Okay, now this is a demonstration purpose right now I'm doing here, so I'm rushing it, I'm making a big mess out of it. So when you guys apply this to your work, make sure you take your time. I spend around 20 minutes on this whole area right now that I'm doing. Okay, so I'll form the whole body and everything, the whole pose, make sure all the shapes of the limbs and the elements are correct and everything. And once I'm happy with it, I just jump in and throw in all the details with the sketching tool, and then it's ready as a blueprint for me to go and clean it all up with my line art and then add color. So that's basically it. That's my process. And I'm gonna do one more time here with my personal character, which is this little bear. If you're part of this channel, subscribe to my channel, you already know this character. So I'm just going to throw his big round blob for his head, and I'm going to make a little snout. He's going to be looking to the left-hand side. So like I said, the more paint, the merrier. And then just soften it out with my eraser, make it nice and small to go in with the details and etch out the shape of his head and the snout here as well as it bends around like this into his mouth, into his back cheek. Now here it needs a little bit more paint, so I'm going to throw in some more. That's the whole beauty of this. And then with the soft eraser, whoops, there we go. And just define it a little bit more. Now, for example, if I want to bend this a little bit more into towards the forehead, I thought I went too much, I'll just get my paintbrush again and just etch it back out again. It's kind of like 3D modeling. So if you're a 3D modeler, you know, taking an object and, you know, pulling and pushing the NURBS or the polygons to form the character or object that you're creating. It's the same thing, but with paint. And the little ears there and the little nose on his snout. And I'm going to take my soft eraser just to throwing a little eye there, just so I know later on where to sketch. And an eyebrow there as well. Now we're done. So now I'm going to soften everything out just a little bit more so I can just see on top. And then with my little pencil tool or whatever sketching tool you're using, just go in and just throw the details. And like I said, it's like connecting the dots. That simple. So make sure you have a nice strong silhouette and make sure you know what you're drawing. Don't go in blind. Make sure you have an idea before you start. And then after that, you got like your lasso tool where you can just like select areas and move them around or reshape them and stuff like that. So that's the fun part. And I'm just going to quickly finish this off, and I'm going to do something a little bit more complicated. I'm going to do Cherry's legs, because Cherry has these cool, sexy legs. So I'm going to show you how to do it on something a little bit more complicated. Alright, so let's take the soft round brush. I'm going to draw a little backside here and throw some paint here for the thighs and the thigh and the shin here with the calf muscle and a foot. Okay, now it looks like a right big mess, yeah? So the cool bit now is to shape it all up, to make it look like an actual leg. So I'll take my soft eraser, make it nice and small, and I'm going to slowly just etch around the thigh, below the butt area, on top of the thigh here as well. And the shin into the foot. And curve those curves nicely, and like that, so it looks like a leg. Now it's missing a calf, so let's add some more paint. And then just shape it up a little bit more. Now, like I said, take your time when you're doing this. Don't rush it. And keep observing it. Keep zooming in and out, seeing it from different sizes and stuff. When you zoom out, you can see it really, really small. It makes more sense that way. And I'll do that a lot. And that's it, basically. And I'm just going to quickly throw in a little circle here for the heel so I can know where to define around the heel. Like that. And there we go. There's basic leg, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to soften it all out so I can paint the other leg. I'm just going to move it out of the way so I can make some more space. Let's see, let's put it here. And now I'm going to paint the other leg, reaching across this leg. So one's going to be bent, the other one's going to be straight. And there's the thigh, some paint here for the shin and into the foot. And there we go. Cool. Okay, now take your soft erasers and start defining the shapes. Now the cool thing about the silhouette technique that a lot of people haven't understood it is that you're training your eyes to observe. Okay, you're really training your eyes to avoid the little details and just concentrate on the shapes and forms of whatever you're designing, whether it's a character or an object. And once you really understand that and you train your eyes to do this, then you can focus more on proportions and stuff like that. For example, I'm looking at this leg right now and it looks so mega long, super long. So at one point towards the end of this, I'm gonna have to squash it in a bit. And yeah, so once I understood it and then I applied this to my work, it really speeded things up for me. I got out of complicated situations. It helped me to pose my characters easily. And then when it comes to like sketching, it was just a piece of cake. I just like go on top and just add the lines and that's it, and all the little details. And yeah, so avoid drawing little dead straight lines all the time. You know, avoid all the perfect lines. You're not trying to create a masterpiece. It's a sketch. It's a blueprint, so that later on you can clean it up and color it up and do your little masterpieces. So anyways, I'm going to add some little detail here on the knee and on the ankle. And like I said, I can now notice the other leg is out of position. So we need to push this a little bit more to the left, make it a little bit bigger, and a bit more to the left. And that's as easy as that, you know, just move it straight away. I don't have to redraw anything, and just throw it in the shape right there. There we go. And that is it. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to soften everything out. Like so. Boom. There we go. And I take my sketching tool, my pencil that I'm using in Sketchbook Pro. And you can use any type of tool you prefer. And just go over it. Like this. Take more care than what I'm doing. I'm just throwing some quick lines just to get this done for you guys. Demonstrate how it's done. And whoa, that's a long leg. Okay, that's a long leg, so I'm going to be definitely shrinking it up a little bit later on. And once I finish this leg, I'm going to pop over to the other leg now and do the thigh here. And the thigh on this side. And the knee into the shin. Down towards the ankle and the foot and everything. Okay, define little details there for the ankles and the kneecaps. And I'm not going to be drawing no details on the toes and stuff like that. I'm just going to show the shape and that's it. And that's it. That's basically it, guys. So, and another thing I like to do is I'll take the soft eraser and I erase some of the paint so that I'll show some lighting. Just as a reference for me later on when I end up coloring this piece after I clean it up. I can see where I wanted the light to hit the body of the character or the object that I'm going to be designing. So I'll show you that in a little bit. Let me just quickly finish all this stuff here. Arching her back like that. Make it a bit thinner. There we go. You can exaggerate in cartoons. And that's basically it. So go ahead and apply this to your work. Have a go. Have some fun with it. And let me know your results. Let me know. Leave some messages in the comments. You know, how you found it. Was it cool? Was it easy to do? Practice on things that are really simple to do at first and then hit the complicated stuff. And trust me, with a lot of practice, you'll understand a lot of these shapes and forms that you'll be trying to draw. A lot easier just from doing these silhouettes. And that's it. So I'm going to add some lighting here on the belly, here on the knee, on the thigh as well. And on the shin here, maybe a bit on the calf muscle here, and on the thigh here as well. So just basic lighting. That's what I usually do just as a reference for me later on. So anyways, guys, and a bit here on the minion as well, and on the bear. Okay, so I'm Christou from Toonboxstudio.com. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a nice thumbs up and share it on your social networks with all your friends and stuff. Let them know what you've discovered. Just quickly squash this because it looks a bit off, a bit too long. Squash. There we go. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching and I'll see you on another video. Bye-bye for now.